first question. If we're white, we are products of the history that our ancestors chose. If we are black, we're products of the history that our ancestors most likely didn't choose.
I think I agree. African ancestors or our ancestors didn't choose to be colonized by Westerners, and today Africa is taking a route that our ancestors would have never chosen to.
Personally, being from Ethiopia and that we were never colonized, I don't think it applies to, the way I grew up or the country that I come from. And I think this applies more to African Americans more than anyone else, because it's not only a matter of being colonized, but their ancestors were taken from their land by force. Every single thing in my life is built around race, because as black folks, we're always sensitive. As a black person, it's always racial. It is.
Yes, I think I agree with this.
Sadly, yeah.
Definitely, because the sensitiveness comes from the fact that the black folks from history until now are always associated with negative things.
Sometimes it shouldn't be, but the way society works is that it makes you feel different, even if you don't want to. So you just take everything racially. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
Like even for something, you might get rejected for a job, or I don't know, by someone or something, and the first thing that will come into your mind is
race.
They're racist. Yeah. And they probably are.
Yeah. I just don't think it is white people's place to tell us where we can be offended or over blackface or not. No. Yeah, they can't tell that.
They really can't say anything. I think when we say this, we have to mention the what is it called? The daytime talk show on Open Beyond. Yeah. And they had like 5 people act out the show, and this blonde chick in like dark paint was, it's so racist, it's so offensive, it's crazy. And I think when they were asked why they did it, they were like, we had 5 actors and we had to
act the role of a black.
It's the stupidest reason I've ever heard.
Let me give you a tip. If you want to make some money here, use your white voice.
I get a completely different response if I just speak in Greek because it's like, they feel more comfortable. They feel like, okay, in some way, somehow she belongs.
Yeah.
So
there's a standard, like a so-called standard, white supremacy standard, that you have to fit in before you can secure yourself a job. And we all find ourselves in this situation. Sometimes you're applying for a job, or you're looking for something, whatever it might be. And when they said, send your CV with your picture, the first thing that comes to your mind is,
oh shit.
I'm not 60% not going to get this, because that blackface in it. You never win with violence. You only win when you maintain your dignity.
This is nice theoretically. I think sometimes though, you need to knock a person out. No, I'm joking, but transportation, the bus is the worst place on earth. Here, I had a situation with a racist old lady. To be honest, if she wasn't old and she was my age, no. I wouldn't have been so dignified about it.
Yeah, I mean, there should be no room for violence.
There shouldn't be.
And of course, violence will not give you any positive result.
But we are human.
Yeah.
And sometimes they push you to the edge.
Exactly.
How do you personally experience racism in Greece? Oh, I could go on and on about this. all damn day. Well, yeah, I think, as I said before, the bus is a very racist place. If a Greek person was to go somewhere, they would, if someone asked them more, they wouldn't say, I'm European. What does that mean? Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. I can't stress this enough. So there's Africa, and there are like so many countries in there.
It's never stopping. Like, it's very embarrassing. Like, sometimes you see people who you believe are, educated enough, they are aware enough to know that Africa is a continent of 53 countries. Like,
I've seen on national TV, on a show with music, I don't know, Greece Got Talent or something. Where are you from? And she said Africa. And I was like, girl, don't do that. So yeah, that was it. I think we're done with the questions. But this was a very short, we tried to wrap it up, but we could go on and on.